Welcome back, friends. This week we are going to be going over how to start making our world look less like a flat plane that there's nothing here. It sucks. So we're going to make it a little bit more interesting by starting to build a world and start making this thing look more like a game and less like, what, nothing. So the first thing that we're going to do is we have to get something to help us build the walls and the landscape of our world. Eventually we'll be able to add some stuff like terrains that'll add some hills, mountains, stuff like that. But at the moment I kind of want to just make some buildings and some places for us to be able to put some NPCs and have some interactions happening. So the easiest way to kind of get into this is to add a package manager that's actually built in with Unity called ProBuilder. In order to do that, all you have to do is go to Window, Package Manager, and in here will be all the packages that we can see within Unity. So every time that we have a using, like in the last video we had a using UI, right? So Unity UI, there's the package. Here we have one called ProBuilder, and we're just gonna click install. So now that we have ProBuilder in place, we're actually going to add another thing as well to be able to help us. It's called ProGrids. So we'll go into Windows, we'll go into Package Manager, and we'll type in ProGrids. Now, ProGrids doesn't show up. The reason why is because it is still in beta at this time. So we have to go and show preview packages in order to be able to see it. And from there, we'll have it, and then click install if you haven't already. And with that, we're ready to go. And we can see we get this little new interface on our window here. And this actually will allow us to snap things onto a grid that will appear on our level as we're moving things, making it way easier to align everything on our game. And considering we're about to build something, that makes things a little bit easier for us. I want to make sure that snapping is turned on. So if it looks like that, make sure it turns on. That way it'll auto snap everything that we're doing. And this guy up here tells us what our snap grid will be. So if the snap value is 1, that means that it will snap 1 unit every single time. So we can adjust that as we're going also. All right, so I have an Asian feel to this, right? So I'm going to make kind of like a little world tournament looking thing for my friend here to be able to play in. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit Tools, ProBuilder, and ProBuilder Window. Now I get this lovely interface right here. This is going to be able to help me create a whole lot of cool shapes to make my arena. Now if yours doesn't look like this, right click on here and you have the option of either text or icon mode. If it looks like this, it is all the text names for everything. If it looks like this, it has a whole lot of icons. I'm going to use the icons just because that's what I kind of like using. However, if you're more comfortable with the text, that's perfectly fine. I also really don't need anything in here at the moment, so I'm actually going to close these. So I'm going to right click, close tab, right click, close tab. That'll give me a little bit more area. I can also snap this to here by clicking on ProBuilder and just drag and dropping there. Now I have all of my assets right here, and I have a nice big area to be able to work with. All right, so let's look around at this. At the moment, in here, we have all the basic tools. So things like creating a new shape and extruding that shape, making a polygon shape that's a freeform tool, kind of. All of our basic creation buttons are going to be right here. The selection mode happens up here. So I can select either an object, full object, a vertex, an edge, or a face. And we'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. So let's start off with just building something that is a rectangle that will serve as the base of our platform. So I'm actually going to hit Alt click to be able to, when I'm doing this, and that will bring up the shape tool. And in here, I'm going to select a cube. And if I can't see my cube, the reason might be because it is completely hidden. So here's the cube. And we can see that its position is just really low. So let's bring that up to 1 and see this snap grid kind of appears. More on that in a minute. I'll put everything kind of in the 0 so I know where everything is. And we'll make it size 20 by 1 by 20. And there is our guy. So I'm going to move this slightly away from our player. And I'm just going to move him over here just a little bit. I'll actually make it so it's a little bit further up, maybe 3 up, just to make it so it's actually kind of a platform here. So let's go in there and see if this is going to be big enough for us to be able to actually fight in. Now notice, this isn't actually in our world yet. And the reason why is because I have not yet hit the build button. So this will not actually become a physical object in our world until I hit the build button. This guy at the moment is a little bit small, so I'm going to make him 50 by 50. So let's go back in here and just play around for a second. That seems like a decent sized arena. Awesome. So now that I like this, I'm going to hit the build button and it exists. So now we're in our level. The first thing that we'll notice is that we cannot actually get onto the platform that we just created. So what we're going to do is create some stairs. So what's cool is in the shape tool, we actually have a setting in here to be able to make it a set of stairs. There's our stairs over there. We'll just drag them over here, drag it over here. So here we can start messing with what our stairs actually look like. So the first thing we need to worry about is its height, because right now it's set to 1.5, which is not quite high enough. This was a 3 unit platform, so we'll make that 3. Awesome. And now looking at this, this looks pretty thin, right? So let's make it so that it has a bit more depth. Nice. And maybe a couple more stairs. Thinking maybe 10 stairs looks about right. Hit build. I'll select this guy and I will rotate it around the y-axis 180 degrees. And remember, our grid view will help us snap it so that this thing will line up perfectly. So that's a good start. Let's test it. And our character goes up the stairs all nice and good. And we're inside the arena. I have another object that I can start building. I am going to make a roof. And that roof will have a couple of pillars going up to it. So I'm actually, for this, going to take this platform. I'm just going to copy and paste it. So I'll copy it by selecting object and then Control V, paste, and then raise it up. But this is really thick for a roof. We don't really need that. So for its scale in the Y direction, we're going to make it 0.1. This is where we can start getting a little fancy. I want to make it so that this guy right here has a little bit of an outward edge on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the edge I want, change my snap grid to 0.5 so that it goes half a unit with the snap, and then boop. What that did was create a nice little bevel there. Now we can do that all around. Alright, now we got kind of nice little fancy edge going around here. And most roofs, if they want to protect against the rain, have to be, a bit diagonal here. So what we're going to do is split this guy in half. How we do that is we select an edge that can rotate all the way around the object. And we'll go over here to this thing that says insert an edge loop. I'll click on that and see, I get one nice circle right in the middle. That's my entire edge. All I have to do is click this and drag up. I have an archway. Already starting to look pretty fancy. I think I will adjust my... what's going on there? The reason why this is happening is because currently I'm set on an edge selection, not selected the entire object. So I'll select entire object, move this guy over, set him about there in the middle. Alright, we don't want to have our roof just kind of floating there, so let's create some support pillars. Before I do that, what I'm going to do is start naming some of these things so I don't get really confused. So this guy's name is the roof. These are the stairs, so that can stay pretty much that. This cube will be the platform. And I'm actually going to create a new game object, an empty game object. and I'm going to call this arena. And I'll put all of these guys inside the arena. That way, as I'm building this massive thing, I won't have a million things inside here, especially if I'm doing an entire town. So let's start creating the pillars. What I'll do, get one platform, alt click, create a new thing. It'll be a cylinder. There it is. Let's move it to about where we want it. Again, the grid view will make it so it snaps really easily, and we can get pretty precise with this. I'll say that I want this guy to be about 1 block in and 1 block in this direction. Sweet. Now we just need to make it tall enough. Maybe we can move this down just a bit. Make sure you hit build. Now I'm going to change the color of this through here just so it's a little bit easier for me to see it. So I'm gonna go to this guy right here. I'll come up with a bunch of colors. I'll hit apply on red because why not? And now I can see kind of how it interacts with all the other objects a little bit easier. So now I need more than just one to be able to support this massive structure. So I'll take this guy, I'll paste it, and I'll drag him out this way. Pull him over here. And there you go. We look at the roof again by hitting this little eyeball there. You should be able to see our beautiful platform. Let's try and play it, see what it looks like. Now we see a whole lot of shadows. The reason why is because we've stopped auto-generating the lighting. There's nothing that casting light rays in all of the ways that we need it. So what we're going to do, just really quickly, click on auto generate light down here, and we're just going to hit the generate lighting. Take a second, and there we go. Now we can kind of see everything. We don't want it to have auto generate light on because it'll just slow down everything, and that's not great. But for now, just having it bake that lighting in for an instant will be good enough for us. So, pretty cool. We have our guy. We'll go up the stairs, go into a nice beautiful arena with an open floor plan. Nice. Alright, let's start making this a little bit more fancy. Let's go into scene. So let's rename these. And I think we're going to make kind of a nice looking fence around all of this. So we'll create a cylinder. Let's put it right here for now. Right now its radius is 0.5, which means this thing is taking up a full block, which is a bit more than I think we want. We want it to be about a quarter of a block because it's got to be a thin, like bamboo post, I'm thinking. 0.125. And we'll make its height to about 3. Looks about good. I'll hit build. Now I'm going to copy this and paste it. So let's change our grid back to 1. Move it over 2. That looks good. Alright, now I'm going to hit shift select, copy, paste, and now you do 2 at a time. Let's take a look at this for a minute and just make sure that this all lines up. So we're here, we go in, if I'm looking at all these, I think they could use to be this way a little bit more towards the front. Maybe a half a step. So we'll change our grid back to 0.5. We'll select all the cylinders, move them forward 0.5. Now if these stairs are truly in the middle, I should be able to copy all of these, paste them. Now we have an entire front line. So now we need to have a bar that goes across. So all I'm going to do is create this, copy and paste one of these. So now I have another one of these. I'm going to rotate it around the z-axis 90 degrees. Plop it down just a little bit. And then we'll make it so it's big enough to cover everything. So I'll change its scale. Try 7.5. That looks pretty good. Take a look at it, make sure that it all lines up. Now we'll copy that, paste it, and drag it down a little bit. Select these two, copy, paste, and move those over here. It's like this is a little bit off, so I'm going to change my scaling to 0.25. We have our front railing, can go inside arena. And I'm going to change all of their colors to orange. That looks pretty good. So I think it's easiest for us to just take this entire front railing, copy, paste it, and then move it to the back and then just modify it a little bit. And we'll just add one or two more of these, delete these guys, and then extend this. That looks pretty good. Delete that, copy paste. There we go. Now at this point we should be able to select the entire back railing, duplicate it, and then rotate the entire thing on the y-axis at 90 degrees. Sent it kind of flying over there a bit. That's okay. So check this out. This is actually kind of a cool thing that we can do. We can select all of these guys now that we know that this is how we want it to be. And we can click Merge Objects. Now, this guy is one solid piece of geometry. Which means I can take him out of here. Call this guy left railing. Copy him, paste him, move him over here. There you go. And this guy right railing. And what's important about this is that right now we have this many objects rendering all at once for every single one of these. So by selecting everything and merging it, it makes it so it's far less computationally heavy. I'll do that just with the front railing. There we have it. We have a completed arena for a ninja to be able to fight in. A quick way to get back into the window view that we had before is to go into Window, Layout, and I usually go into Default, which brings us back here. And there we have it. We have our fully constructed arena for our Ninja Boy here to start playing around in and to battle. So subscribe and stick around because in the next few videos we'll be going over creating an enemy, which includes an enemy script, modeling out our enemy, and doing some combat. Both us damaging the enemy and them damaging us. So that will be a ton of fun and it'll actually start being able to make this game something that's a little bit more playable. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Please do follow along with these videos. They're here to help teach you, and they can only do that by you actually messing around in code and getting this and making the thing for yourself. Don't feel like you have to create this exact arena. Make whatever you like. Use the techniques you saw in this and make your dream game come to reality. Give this video a like if it was helpful, subscribe if you want to see the future ones, and share if you think this can help someone else. Send some comments if you have any questions, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.